Let me tell you something, I have been covering tennis for a long time, and I have never seen anything quite like what is unfolding right now in the California desert. We are at Indian Wells, the so-called fifth Grand Slam, a tournament built on prestige, tradition, and a very particular kind of quiet. You know the crowd, sun hats, polite applause, the occasional appreciative murmur. That has always been the vibe here. Not today. Today, Interstate 10 is backed up for miles. Not because of the usual Coachella Valley weekend traffic, but because of caravans. Dozens of them, flying the blue, red, white, and yellow of the Philippine flag. The Filipino-American community, which runs deep throughout Southern California from Los Angeles all the way down to San Diego, has shown up in full force. They didn't just buy tickets, they bought everything. They cleared out the secondary market, overwhelmed the box office, and right now, the Indian Wells Tennis Garden looks less like a tennis tournament and more like a Davis Cup final. Flags waving, drums beating, chants echoing across the desert air. And it is all for one person, Alexandra Eala. Now, if you are just catching wind of this story, let me bring you up to speed, because this is not hype. This is history. Eala was born in Quezon City and left home at a young age to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. That alone tells you something about her drive, the sacrifice, the distance, the sheer belief that she could compete at the highest level of a sport that barely had a footprint in her country. She became the first Filipino player to ever win a junior Grand Slam singles title, doing it on the biggest stage of all at the US Open. But here is the thing about junior success. The professional tour doesn't care. It is a completely different world. Harder, faster, and brutally unforgiving. Most prodigies don't make it through that transition. Eala has navigated it with a quiet, relentless focus. She has grinded through lower-tier ITF events in obscure cities, playing in front of almost no one, stacking up ranking points one match at a time. And now here she is. Indian Wells, main draw, main event. The shock on the faces of tournament staff is real. Security teams are scrambling. Vendors are sold out. The practice courts are packed shoulder to shoulder just so fans can watch her warm up. The usual polished calm of this place has been completely overtaken by something far more electric. This kind of energy in professional tennis is rare. We have glimpsed it before, with Naomi Osaka, with the legendary runs of Lee Na. But what is happening around Eala feels different. It feels personal. This is the culmination of years of watching one of their own fight her way up from nothing, carrying a nation's hopes on her shoulders without ever buckling under the weight. So let's talk about what actually makes her so dangerous on the court, because the passion of the crowd only tells half the story. Eala is left-handed, and that already gives her a structural advantage most opponents never fully neutralize. Her serve naturally tails away from a right-hander's backhand on the ad side, a weapon she has spent years refining into something precise and punishing. But the serve is just the beginning. What really sets her apart is her forehand. Heavy, vicious topspin. The kind that kicks off the court and climbs out of your strike zone before you can get the racket on it properly. You can see the stylistic fingerprints of the Nadal Academy all over it. That said, she does not just spin the ball to death. Her two-handed backhand is flat and aggressive, a genuine weapon she can crack down the line with pace and control. The contrast between those two wings, the loopy, kicking forehand and the flat, penetrating backhand, makes her incredibly difficult to pattern. And Indian Wells, as it happens, is a near-perfect environment for her game. These courts play slow. The ball bounces high. The topspin has maximum time to bite. The dry desert air lets the ball travel through the strike zone fast, so when she decides to go flat, the pace is nasty. Surface, conditions, skill set, it all lines up. But what I want to make sure we talk about, beyond the technique, is her composure. Because that might actually be her greatest weapon. Think about the pressure she has lived under since she was a teenager. Every junior match she played was national news in the Philippines. Every win was a celebration. Every loss was analyzed from every angle. When you grow up with that kind of scrutiny, when the expectations of over 100 million people follow you to every warm-up, you either break, or you build an edge that most players simply never develop. Eala has built the edge. On the court, she is ice. Break point, she slows everything down, goes through her routine, bounces the ball, and executes. The crowd that would shake another young player to their core, it does not unsettle her. It charges her. Now think about what that means for whoever walks onto the other side of the net. Tennis is one of the loneliest sports in the world. When the match turns against you, the silence of an empty stadium can swallow you whole. But in Eala's matches here, silence is not an option. Every unforced error from her opponent is met with a roar. Every winner she hits brings the house down. The opponent isn't just fighting her, they are fighting the entire weight of a community that has traveled thousands of miles specifically for this moment. That psychological pressure is enormous, and it is very real. Zooming out a little, the WTA is in an interesting place right now. There are dominant forces at the top of the game, power players who can end rallies in 3 shots, and a whole generation of young hungry players trying to crack through. Eala is dangerous in this landscape precisely because she defies easy categorization. She is not a one-dimensional basher. She is not a pure defender. She can grind, she can attack, she can change tempo mid-rally. That tactical flexibility, combined with the crowd effect we have been talking about, makes her a genuine handful for anyone in the draw. Let's also not ignore what this means beyond the sport itself. The WTA and ATP have spent years trying to crack open the Southeast Asian market. China and Japan have produced Grand Slam champions and hosted major events, but the broader Southeast Asian region has remained largely untapped. Eala is the unlock. The Philippines is a country that throws itself fully behind its athletes. We have seen what happened during the Manny Pacquiao era. Entire cities going quiet on fight night, crime dropping to zero, the country holding its collective breath. Eala is beginning to generate that same gravitational pull. And for the tournament, for the sponsors, for anyone paying attention to where the sport's future lives, this is a landmark moment. The viral footage coming out of Indian Wells right now, flags, chants, an ocean of national pride flowing into a tennis stadium in the Coachella Valley, is broadcasting a message around the world. Tennis is not just a country club sport. It never was. And now the numbers are here to prove it. On the grassroots level, the impact will be felt for years. Tennis in the Philippines has always faced real barriers: expensive equipment, limited courts, the cost of traveling to compete internationally. But visibility changes the equation. When a young girl in Manila or Cebu watches Eala walk out into that stadium and the crowd absolutely loses it, something shifts. A dream becomes possible. That seed gets planted. We will likely see more investment in development programs, more kids picking up rackets, and a new generation who grow up trying to copy that heavy topspin forehand. And behind Eala herself, there is a story worth telling about the people who made this possible. Her family made profound sacrifices to support this path. The decision to send her to Mallorca at a young age, to trust in the process even when the outcome was uncertain. The team at the Nadal Academy who saw raw talent and gave it a world-class environment to develop. These people are part of this moment too. Today is as much their win as it is hers. So here is where we stand. A young woman from Quezon City has arrived at one of the most prestigious tournaments in the world, backed by one of the most extraordinary outpourings of fan support this sport has ever witnessed. Her game is tailor-made for these conditions. Her mind is forged in fire, and the draw is a gauntlet she will have to fight through match by match. Regardless of how deep she goes this week, the victory is already real. She has the tennis establishment's full attention. She has shown what the Southeast Asian market is capable of. And she has reminded anyone who needed reminding that this sport belongs to everyone. The courts of Indian Wells are going to remember this week for a very long time. Stay locked in. We will be here breaking down every match, every big point, every moment this story develops. Drop a comment letting us know where in the world you are watching from. And if you are just joining this journey for the first time, welcome, because Alex is only getting started.